That new interview with the estranged wife of Tad Cummins, the former Tennessee teacher accused of kidnapping a student. His wife is now revealing what he told her from behind bars. ABC's Kana Whitworth has a story. Good morning, Kana.
Robin, good morning. Jill Cummins telling Inside Edition he told her he loves her, begged for forgiveness, but admitted to sleeping with the 15-year-old. And now Jill Cummins says she can't bring herself to answer any more of his phone calls.
He kept saying, "I love you," and I said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say that back."
Jill Cummins, the wife of Tennessee teacher who stands accused of having an inappropriate relationship with his former student, speaking out about their emotional first phone call in an exclusive interview with Inside Edition.
It was hard. It was very hard to hear his voice after all this time, not knowing if I was ever going to hear it again. But he told me he was sorry and that he told me he loved me. And please forgive him.
Jill revealing she filed for divorce after 31 years of marriage, after finding out what she feared the most was true.
I said, "Did you sleep with her?" And he said, "Yes, I did." And I didn't want any details.
The 50-year-old science teacher behind bars in California after leading law enforcement on a month-long cross-country journey, taking 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas through 9 states before being captured in this remote cabin in California.
He will face a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years and possibly quite longer.
Court documents reveal his original plan was to take the victim south of the border to Mexico and beyond, even getting a small watercraft and conducting a test run to cross into Mexico across the water from San Diego. Instead, Cummins eluding authorities for 39 days by changing the appearance of his SUV, disabling his GPS, and paying for items with cash. Elizabeth's father telling ABC News his daughter's appearance changed during the ordeal.
She had lost some weight for sure. He had not been feeding her as well as they should have. She said they were eating flowers and things.
Now this morning, Cummins' soon-to-be ex-wife says their relationship is over.
I won't let him hurt me like that again. I will not let him betray me like that again. I won't give him the opportunity ever again.
Inside Edition will be releasing more of that interview today. As for Tad Cummins, he's behind bars in California, facing both state and federal charges. He has not entered a plea. Elizabeth is spending time with her family and a trauma team. Her father saying that she has good and bad days, and they're expecting a long journey of healing. Robin?
I'm sure. Kana, thank you. And our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, is here now. How will this interview possibly impact the case?
Well, look, I think the authorities are looking for as many possible charges to levy against him as possible. And this one could add the potential for statutory rape. One of the wrinkles here is that in Tennessee law, to get a kidnapping charge, if someone's over the age of 12, which she was, you need force or coercion. Basically, the law in Tennessee reads as if someone over the age of 12 can leave home. Now, there are also federal charges in place. There are some arguments about why that shouldn't apply, but I can assure you that the Tennessee authorities and the federal authorities would like to see as many other possible charges here as possible.
What about marital privilege?
Yeah, so the spousal privilege, as you point out, could apply, meaning that the husband, the defendant, could say, "I don't want her to be allowed to testify. We had a communication here in confidence." The problem is, once she discloses that conversation publicly, as she did in this interview, it's no longer considered a confidential communication, and therefore the spousal privilege probably wouldn't apply in this case.
A lot of charges here. California, back where they're from, also these federal charges.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be extradition to Tennessee, and I think the federal charges are going to be critical here, crossing state lines. Again, I think this wrinkle in the Tennessee kidnapping law, they think they can get around it, but the fact that you also then have the potential for federal charges, you also have the possibility of additional charges, I think all of this makes the authorities feel a lot more comfortable than just having to rely on that Tennessee law.
All right, Dan, thanks so much.